Did we catch Bigfoot on video?
We were told that this 2.9 mile hike would be mostly downhill and easy to get to where we would set up our primitive camp.
But boy, were we wrong.
I hate Cheryl Corntassel's guts.
Did he lie to you?
He's a liar.
We made it about half a mile maybe. Cheryl's already wanting to bail out and go to an easier spot, and Mark, he won't have it.
That rock right over there,
Yeah?
that's going to make me a nice tombstone. Okay?
I got
just
you.
Use that rock over there and make a nice tombstone.
Uh,
We're about to head out. We just filled up our water bladders out of this little spring coming out of the side of the mountain. We've looked at the topographical maps, and we're going to go find us a hemlock grove. We feel like that we'll have a little bit of success in looking for signs around the hemlocks, and we're going to head down the mountain. You got anything to add?
yes, then we're going to head up the mountain later, and that's going to be rough.
Then we'll probably lay in our hammocks and moan, won't we?
I've already took BC powder. It's painful.
All right, so if you look right now, here we are in the first week of April, and it looks like winter time out here. There's no growth on any of the trees. You're just starting to get the faintest of buds way up here in the tops of the trees. And what happens this time of year is the spring bloom starts down here in the lower, warmer elevations, and it works its way up the mountain. And then, just like in the fall, everybody rushes up here to these mountains to see all that pretty color. All the color starts at the very, very tops of these mountains where it's cooler, it's warmer down here, and then it just kind of works its way down. So it's really hard to, you really can't expect to see a lot of Bigfoot in this area because it's so wide open. You know, I mean, they can still come in here and move around without us knowing about it, but your best bet is to get down here where it's thicker and greener and they can hide from you better. Then they've got the sound of that waterfall to mask any of their movement noise, and they can just watch from their vantage point. And that's kind of the approach we're going to take here today.
Nestled in a hemlock grove where 3 mountain streams converge, Mark finds a suspicious tree bow that was stuck in the ground with limbs helping to pin it down. At the top of the waterfall, the vastness of the Appalachians was awe-inspiring. In the boulder field at the base of the falls was where Sherald had his sighting. Sherald and Larry navigate their way to the bottom to examine possible travel routes leading into the boulder field. While scanning the shelf up above them, Larry sees movement.
I saw movement
I
right,
did too. I just saw movement.
right there.
I just saw some to the right. Just real quick.
I'm sorry, I'm zoomed in. Something right in there. I don't know if that's anything or not. But by golly, it kind of looks like it. But
I just saw some movement up above and to the right of there. Just a second ago. This is real dark.
there's some crap up there somewhere.
Yeah, they up there watching.
Upon leaving the falls, Mark separated from the other researchers so he could climb the ridge overlooking the trail to investigate possible travel routes that would lead from one mountain to another. On one of the fingers that overlooked the hemlock grove, where the tree bow was spotted earlier, Mark finds evidence of possible tree manipulations. Near the top of the ridge, he finds a curious tree break. The break is about 6.5 feet off the ground. Notice, if this tree would have felled naturally, it would have been on the other side of this tree. Also, one would think that a tree this large, it would have done more damage to the fork of the smaller tree it's resting in. Mark went into tracking mode, looking for another sign. About 50 yards down the finger, a large X was found. Lining up the signs and traveling in a straight line, he finds another snap tree. But what is odd is this tree fell uphill, and there was no evidence of another tree that could have fell and hit it and caused it to fall that way. Towards the bottom of the finger, Mark finds a hanger. What is peculiar about this birch limb hanging out of the top of the sapling is where did it fall from? There wasn't any birch trees nearby. One thing is for certain, if you find a possible sign, you need to be diligent in looking for the next sign. When lining the two up, you have a direction of travel. All of these tree manipulations were in a straight line coming down the finger of the mountain, and they led straight to the tree bow found earlier.
As I was reviewing the footage from the action cam that I was wearing on my back during the hike away from the waterfall, I saw what appeared to be either a hiker or something walking between trees. At first, it just totally looked like somebody or something.
All right, everyone. We're going to look at some video footage that was filmed recently on a bushcrafting expedition into North Georgia. I was sent a still photograph from a video showing what appears to be a large figure standing up on the hill on the other side of the creek. I'm going to explain a couple of things real quick. Larry has a camera placed on his back, so everything we're watching is a rear view perspective. Larry is actually facing the other way. He is also standing still, and when the camera turns and moves, it's because he's turning his upper torso. He's not actually walking. He's waiting on another member to get across the creek, so he's just standing there. And now we're going to go back in the timeline to where this figure first appears. Right in this area, we'll first see it appear stepping out from behind the tree. These larger trees are on the other side of the creek, farther off in the distance in the background. So just keep your eye on this area right here. And we kind of see him stepping out right there. And Larry turns his torso, but we're going to pan right back. And he's walking out more now. Again. And here he is. He appears to stand there right now, and then eventually he steps back behind the tree he originally came out from behind. And one more time. This time he appears to come from the tree again, and then it appears he's moving this way towards these trees. But this one goes by really quick. And that's the last we see of him. So real quick, what I'm going to do is just play that entire little segment there at full speed so you can actually see how quick this went by. It was a good catch on Larry's part to even see this in the video. So, just keep your eyes on this little area here. And that's the last we see of him. But as I received the video, I was able to go farther back and see what the real culprit was. And unfortunately, it's not a Bigfoot or a person. It's actually one of these leaves right here. These long, slender leaves. Now see, as we first enter the creek earlier in the video, we see our little Bigfoot buddy hanging right here. He's got another little buddy here, and he's got a third one over here. And what it is, the leaves are really actually close to Larry, to the camera. They're actually on this side of the creek on these long, dead trees here. And you can see the little slender, skinny limbs coming out. And there's a few of them right here holding like one little leaf each. And we can still see them here as we pull through. You actually see right here this leaf, which was our later looked like a Bigfoot, or a person walking from behind the trees, actually blots out the trees in the background. It's hard to see that at the actual speed of the video, because frame by frame it will you can see it blotting out the trees in the background. And, you can see all the little limbs here. I just have little leaves hanging on them. So, that was our Bigfoot. It's a leaf. So, always look for things that isn't Bigfoot. Try to debunk your own evidence. And, hey, until next time, have fun researching.
We cannot stress how important it is whenever you feel like that you have captured some type of Bigfoot evidence, that you are diligent in trying to debunk your own evidence before you stamp Bigfoot on it. A word to the wise is to get more people involved in looking at it. That way you have more opinions, more people looking at it with different angles, and make sure that you are asking questions and trying to provoke answers that you will be able to ask more questions that will lead you to the truth.
And that's the beauty of the group that Beast has, that we have trustworthy people that you can trust with these evidence, new evidence, that you don't have to worry about people stealing it, sharing it on their own, or showing it to the world before you even know what you're looking at or listening to. And that's very important also.
Absolutely.
This has been a Sawdust production.